What's going on, y'all? Harry from Harry the Horse Barbecue here, and in this one, I am not horsing around with this smoked turketta. This Thanksgiving, we're gonna season up and roll up a turkey in the style of a porchetta, smoke it off on the offset until it builds some amazing color and that crispy skin. Pair this turkey with some classic Thanksgiving side dishes, and then we will slice on into a juicy, smoky, succulent turkey alternative that you have to try this Thanksgiving. Tired of the same old bird? Well, the horse has got your back. Let's get it.
Harry the Horse Barbecue.
Well, it's that time of year again where we're trying to dazzle our friends and family with a beautiful Thanksgiving spread. And if you're looking to change up your Thanksgiving table this year, look no further than the turketta. Well, a porchetta is an Italian dish with a pork belly and a pork loin all seasoned up with a beautiful herb mixture, rolled up, tied up, and then roasted in the oven for a beautiful presentation. Well, I figured we'd take inspiration from that and create a turketta this year to adorn your holiday table in the most festive of ways. So in order to make this turketta, we gotta start by making our beautiful herb seasoning. So let's do that. Herbs, butter, and some citrus. So the herb mixture that's gonna line the inside of our turketta is gonna start with our classic holiday herbs, some sage, nice bundle of thyme, and a bunch of rosemary. So all I did was pluck a bunch of thyme, rosemary, and sage, and now we're just gonna give this a super fine dice, mince, julienne, slice, whatever you want to call it. Basically until we can just create a super fine herby paste, because essentially what we're creating is a compound butter here that's going to line the inside of our turkey breast before we roll it up. It's also a time like this where you can practice your knife skills. We're going to put these to the side momentarily so we can start this compound butter. Next up, we're going to finally mince up some garlic. Essentially, we're going for an herb, garlic, citrus compound butter. That looks pretty good. Now, onto our butter. 2 sticks of butter, Kerrygold that is, into this bowl. Next in with our herbs and our garlic. Goodness, that smells good. The zest of a lemon going in next. Make sure you're not getting into the white. That's called the pith, and that's gonna be really bitter stuff. The colorful outside layer is the layer of flavor of any of these citrus fruits when you're zesting them. Speaking of citrus fruits, we're gonna go down with now some orange zest, which to me is one of my favorite ingredients in cooking for the holidays. I throw this into the cranberry sauce. You can throw this inside of a turkey. Just gonna go down with a tiny pinch of salt and then a few cracks of fresh black pepper. And after a little mixing, our holiday butter is ready to go. And this can go on anything you want on the Thanksgiving table, but we're using it for one specific application today, which is that turkey. So let's go grab that turkey. Let's go. That'd be a turkey breast. Now this is the secondary turkey breast that I removed if you saw my Cajun turkey breast video. So enough horsing around, let's get this breast out of the pack. So here is our big old turkey breast, and the first thing we're gonna have to do is actually remove the skin, which is usually the start of most turkey breast treatments. I'm being super careful not to tear the skin. Finally, we'll deal with this skin in a little bit. I just removed a little bit of fat from the interior. So you can see I have a couple of scraggly bits on the ends, so I'm actually just gonna square it up just a little bit. All right, now we have our breast here. We have a couple of options. We can either try to butterfly this and lay it flat, or we can just try to pound it out to even it out. I think the risk of trying to butterfly this evenly is too high, so I'm gonna start by pounding it out. We're gonna cover this with plastic wrap, and since I don't have a meat mallet, I'm going old school with this pan. Okay, well that was not working at all, and I was just scaring Ozzy, who is my dog. So I think we're gonna try to butterfly this. Gonna remove whatever tendon this is. Probably belongs to the turkey tender that was removed. All right, I guess at this rate, now that it's butterflied open, we're gonna try to still pound it out. That way it becomes a little bit thinner over here and try to make it more of an even shape. And voila. That's not looking too bad. I went back to the pot smashing method and it seemed to flatten this out pretty evenly, which is pretty sweet. I'm gonna pick this up and I'm gonna set it to the side just for a little bit because now We gotta work with our skin. And this is 2 pieces of skin from the 2 breasts that I had. And it seems like if we can overlap these, we'd be in pretty good shape. Spreading out the skin the best that I can, giving it a little scrape in the process. So in an effort to keep the skin wide enough, what if I just patch it up? And just put a little layer of skin right there, patch up that hole. So I'm gonna reintroduce our breast fairly loosely just because I'm gonna hit it with some kosher salt just to give it some flavor and essentially begin the dry brining process overnight. All right, and now we'll flip it over because we want that top side to be our presentation side. That's a pretty good fit. Okay, now more kosher salt on the inside, and now we're gonna lay down all of this herb butter. It's gonna add tons of flavor, tons of seasoning. Now the challenge is to roll this. We are going to tuck and tightly roll into a really nice roulade style shape. All right, she doesn't look the prettiest right now, but at any rate, we gotta truss this beast up. So I've got some butcher's twine. Hopefully we can slide it right underneath and start tying right in the middle. 1, 2, 3 loops. 1 more over the top. Snip, snip, and then we'll start working outwards from there. All right, so all I did was take a longer piece of string, tie it to this end, and then drag that piece of string underneath each loop all the way down to ensure that this cooks evenly and holds its shape really, really well. And overall, this is not a bad first attempt for this turquetta. And at this rate, we can go ahead and just salt it everywhere to continue that dry brine on the exterior, all over, top and bottom. Careful so that you don't undo all of the extremely difficult work you just did. And the beautiful thing about this turquetta, although it's a bit long, it's not taking up nearly as much fridge space as dry brining or wet brining a whole turkey. And I'm digging the way she looks. This turquetta is gonna sit on this wire rack in the refrigerator overnight. The salt and the cool air from the refrigerator should help dry out the skin, which is all in an effort to get us crispy skin when we smoke this off tomorrow. So I'm gonna get some shut-eye and I'll see y'all in the AM. It's day 2 of this Thanksgiving feast, but no meal would be complete without some homemade fluffy dinner rolls. So let's get them started. Warm milk, active dry yeast, and a good amount of sugar. Quick mix. And we're gonna let that yeast eat for about 5 to 10 minutes. Once the yeast is looking frothy, go in with our flour, kosher salt, and some dough conditioner. Let that go until we get a little bit of a dough forming. And while this is going, you can go in with your 2 eggs and 1 egg yolk. It'll help bring the dough together. Our dough has fully come together, so we're going in with softened butter. Now we're just gonna let this mix on a low-medium speed for about the next 5 to 10 minutes. And out comes our super sticky dough onto a floured surface. And then we're just gonna work this around to get it a little less sticky. And then we can give it some classic slap, folds, slap, folds, slap, folds. And that's looking like a beautiful ball of dough. Greased up bowl. Dough goes right in, greasy plastic wrap. Now we're gonna place this dough in a warm place to let it rise for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Now I'm on a mission to make cranberry sauce one of the more enjoyable sides on a Thanksgiving table. But I'm such a big fan of this recipe, so I highly recommend y'all make it at home and then comment down below if you still are a hater of cranberry sauce. We begin with a sauce pot. 1 bag of cranberries, but let's remove the bag. Plain old cup of water and a plain old cup of sugar. A few cinnamon sticks, a shot of bourbon. This is the good stuff right here, guys. Locally made, this is my favorite out of any bourbon or whiskey I've ever had. Next up is a shot of local maple syrup. I zested this orange yesterday for the turkey, but we're still gonna use the juice of an entire orange. We can go in with the juice of a lemon too, because I zested this one yesterday for the turkey as well. And lastly, make sure you get zesty with a bit of orange zest in here. This is my favorite part. This is one of my key ingredients to making this cranberry sauce the best cranberry sauce in the freaking world, y'all. And now this just hits the stove on a low simmer until the cranberries burst and you start to see this thicken up quite a bit. Now there's a pot of simmering stock right behind me. That stock's been simmering for about 16 hours. But let's take a look at how we started that stock. All right, pit is still heating up, but it's a perfect time to get all of our bones and veg on to make the best stock ever. That's a smoker full of all the good stuff. We just gotta let it smoke away now for the next few hours. All we gotta do now is close it down. Boom. Now what I found to make the best stock possible is having sort of a master stock combination of ingredients. So I loaded up some chicken feet, some chicken backs, and a ton of beef bones. Those are usually my base components when it comes to making stock. A couple of carrots and onions on the smoker won't hurt as well, but once these have accumulated enough smoke flavor over the course of a couple of hours, we'll pull them off and they'll go straight in our stock pot. So we'll run the smoker about 250, 275, and I'll meet y'all back when we add the rest of our components for our stock. And you know it's not horsing around. See y'all in a little bit. We got all of our smoky goodness here, and now we're gonna add the rest of our aromatics and flavorings to the stock pot to create the ultimate master stock. I did just toss in a bunch of kind of old and weird shiitake mushrooms. I figured they could add a little bit of umami to our stock pot. For the rest, we're going down with some celery stalks, the Trinity bundle, rosemary, sage, and thyme, some whole black peppercorns, just sort of spread them out best you can. Here I've got 5 cloves of garlic, but you could do whatever you want there. And lastly, 2 bay leaves. Are we out of room in our pot for 2 bay leaves? But topping this off with water, about 5 quarts will do this pot. And now onto the stove for the next handful of hours. Ugh. It's a long time for some stock, but while that stock was simmering, I topped it off with about 5 quarts of water over the course of that 16 hours, and we ended up with about 3 quarts of stock at the end of that. Super dark, rich, luxurious. I almost want to take a sip. So all I did was kind of sift out the bones and veg and stuff and pour the stock through a fine mesh strainer, and we're left with this super amazing stock. All we gotta do is let this cool. You're gorgeous. And there we have it, our cranberry sauce is all done. The Horse Stables are in fact a whole homemade cranberry sauce household. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. With our cranberry sauce done, we're gonna set it aside to cool. Now we gotta get that turkey on the smoker. Let's get it. And here's our turquetta. Definitely looking a little bit more dry on the exterior, holding together fairly well, so no complaints here. And we're gonna give this a nice spray down with some avocado oil. And all we're gonna do is go on with a little bit of granulated garlic. This is gonna help with that browning and give us some amazing flavor. And then just down with some 16 mesh black pepper, just to have a nice, simple, yet beautiful presentation. Beautiful, flip her over. And we rinse and repeat. I'm excited for how this is gonna look at the end of this cook. Hoping for crispy, hoping for golden. So just a wee bit of black pepper over the top. A little nod to a Texas-style turkey breast, a little nod to a Texas-style porchetta. And that's all she really needs. This turquetta's all seasoned up and it's ready for the cooker. So let's go fire up the cooker. I'm gonna need these. All right, y'all, it's windier than the Wizard of Oz out here, and the cooker is up to about 275 degrees. We wanna go hot and fast so we can really try to crisp up that skin. So before the wind blows me over, let's get this turquetta on. Up and under. Okay, turquetta on this raised rack. Thicker side towards the fire. What did I do to deserve this? And to really help us with the crispy skin to start this cook, I'm enlisting the Wagyu beef tallow spray. I think it's too cold for the beef tallow spray to actually spray out. It's like glitching out. That's crazy. And again, with this turkey cook, I'm using the Typhur Sync Gold Dual, where we've got the internal temp set to 155 degrees, inserting our probe in the thickest part of this breast up to the safety line, and we'll monitor the temps with the Typhur Sync Gold from here on out. All right, y'all, the damper to the smokestack's about 1/4 of the way closed, and we're gonna be running temps between 275 and 325 the entire time. Crispy skin, smoke flavor, tender, juicy turkey is the name of the game. So from here on out, we're maintaining fires. All we gotta do is close it down. Boom, shakalaka, and happy Thanksgiving. All right, y'all, had to wait for the wind to die down, but I inserted that Typhur Sync probe into the far end of that turquetta, just so we don't create any holes on the side of the turquetta to ruin our presentation. But that Typhur Sync Gold is going to immediately tell us once the turquetta has hit an internal of 155 degrees Fahrenheit. But the great thing about this Typhur Sync Gold is I can monitor temps from the smart base or the app on my phone from literally anywhere. And it has 0 problems reading through the 1/4 inch thick steel walls of the smoker. Now, I've been using Typhur thermometers for about a year now, and I'll link a more in-depth video of the Typhur Sync Gold up here, but all the Typhur thermometers I use have never let me down. I've always hit my desired internal temperatures, and the cooks I've done using those thermometers have turned out absolutely phenomenal. So I know the Typhur Gold is going to accurately help us cook this turquetta this Thanksgiving. Now right now Typhur is running their Black Friday sale, and you could use my code HORSBBQ to save 10% off Typhur products. So if you use my discount code, you can get the Typhur Gold for as low as $134. So with the holiday season coming up, might be a great gift for the barbecue enthusiast in your life. Check the description down below for a link to the Typhur website. Use my code, and let's head on over to the next phase of our Thanksgiving feast. That's looking gorgeous. And we just gotta cover these up with a damp towel. So y'all have seen me make this exact dough a bunch of times on the channel. That dough doubled in size after about 2 hours. I dumped it out, degassed it, and portioned out the dough into 50-gram balls. Rolled them up, threw them on this parchment-lined made-in baking pan, and now they're gonna sit here and rest for about another hour so they can rise. Then we'll bake them off. I think it's stuffing time. Let's get that rocking and rolling. Now we're gonna be making a homemade sausage stuffing essentially from scratch, and that starts with some homemade sausage. So I've got about 3 pounds of pork shoulder that I got from my local grocery store. I just cubed it up. Now we're gonna throw it into the grinder on the coarse die setting. And here is our sausage grind, super coarse. But we're not going for anything super bound together because we're just gonna be cooking the sausage off in a pan. And normally I go a sweet Italian sausage profile when I'm doing my Thanksgiving stuffing. But I figured this year, change it up just a little bit, and it's got all the flavor profiles we're looking for. This Chud's Barbecue breakfast sausage mix would be a great alternative. Now, since this mix is rated for about 5 pounds of meat, I'm not gonna use the whole packet. I don't wanna over season this because this is only about 3 pounds of meat. So I'm gonna use about 2/3 of this package to really season our sausage. And if you're unaware, I am a Chud's Barbecue affiliate, so if you pick up any of this Chud's Barbecue sausage starter mix, you could definitely use my code in the description down below and help support Brad and myself. Then down with our onions and celery. Half a sweet yellow onion and a couple ribs of celery. Once we've cooked these onions and celery down to where they're soft and translucent, we're gonna go in with some of our homemade smoky stock. Just look how gelatinous. Roughly 2 cups. Let's just go in with the whole thing. Once this comes to a boil, we'll add our stuffing mix. My favorite during the holidays is this Pepperidge Farm herb seasoned stuffing. So stock is boiling, in with our stuffing mix. We're obviously just gonna absorb the stock, soften the bread cubes, then we'll toss this to the side and get our sausage going. In with our sausage. This is obviously way more than what we're gonna need. So I reserved about 1 pound of sausage in this pan. We're going back in with our stuffing. Let's incorporate all of this together. And at this rate, this can hit a 325-degree oven to kind of get some browning on top. And then at that point, we can start setting up our entire Thanksgiving feast. Our rolls are looking beautiful. I just hit them with an egg wash, and now they're gonna hit a 325-degree oven until they're golden brown. And if you're looking for an internal temp, it's usually around 200. Into the oven for some golden buns. Ooh, fresh out of the oven, we have our freshly baked buns. All I'm gonna do is hit them with some honey butter, just some locally sourced honey, a little bit of unsalted Kerrygold butter, and just let that soak all up in these buns. These rolls are not horsing around, that's for sure. And for the piece de resistance, little flake salt, just for a little saltiness to cut through that sweetness. We're almost ready to eat, just a couple more things. Roughly 3 hours on the cooker. Our turquetta's looking pretty darn sweet. Look how golden and beautiful that color is. Hit our desired internal temp of 155, and we're just gonna let it rest. And while we do that, I've got some scalding hot herb butter, just some unsalted butter, a couple garlic cloves, rosemary, sage, thyme, going right over the top of this beast. It's just gonna add extra flavor, extra richness. Yeah, we're going on with all of it. That smells ridiculous. Let's let this rest for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then we'll get ready to slice on in. And after all that labor and all those days, our Thanksgiving feast is finally ready. Our turquetta looks absolutely amazing. Sausage stuffing, homemade gravy, these beautiful looking rolls, and don't skimp on the cranberry sauce. We're gonna release the beast from its cage right down the center. Not too shabby. I mean, not the best roll in the world, but you see a little herb mixture right in the middle? I'm not too mad at it. Look at how juicy this thing is looking. Oh my goodness. Gotta get in a bite. That is so good. It's so herby, it's so tender, it's so juicy, it's so smoky. Just check out these rolls. Oh, look at how squishy and fluffy. Gotta snag a little bite. Unreal. Lastly, a little cranberry sauce. You just see how thick. To me, it's not Thanksgiving without this cranberry sauce. It's so acidic, it's sweet. Oh, so much flavor in that. And lastly, a little bit of our sausage stuffing. We crisp that up in the oven real nice. When you make everything from scratch, it is just not horsing around. This Turketta Thanksgiving is so good, I just can't stop. But it's just top to bottom, like absolute Thanksgiving perfection. Okay, Perry Lane, which would you like to try? Would you like some turkey? Okay, I'm just gonna give you a little bite. Not for you, Z. Maybe I should feed Ozzy first. Okay, this one is for Desi. And this is for Mommy. I got this in for you. Okay.
It's really good.
Well, it's Ozzy approved. And it's Perry approved. This piece of turkey is for the Z. Say happy Thanksgiving. Okay. I guess we'll just give this one to you. You're being silent. Happy Thanksgiving, Desi. As opposed to me going round and round on this plate of amazing food, I'm just gonna tell y'all that this is seriously not horsing around. You've gotta try out a turketta, especially if you've got an extra turkey breast lying around. Pound it out a little bit thinner, get a tight roll on that, and you have a little bit better of a presentation, but the flavors are right where they need to be. We've got all that herbaceousness, that butteriness, that smokiness. The skin rendered a bit, but it's not necessarily crispy. It's hanging on pretty good though. Little gravy dunk. That smoky stock makes that gravy just unbelievable. These are Thanksgiving classics for a reason. I'm team cranberry sauce all the way. A classic stuffing with a little bit of a twist. That breakfast sausage works out great. And I could literally eat like 7 of these rolls, no problem. Before all that tryptophan sets in and I fall into a food coma, I just gotta tell y'all to stop horsing around and make this Thanksgiving. Sweet. Happy Thanksgiving to y'all. I appreciate each and every one of you that have subbed to the channel, and we're approaching 5,000 subs. So I wanted to go big for y'all this holiday season and deliver an ultimate holiday meal. But thank y'all for tuning in to Harry the Horse Barbecue. I really appreciate you checking out this video. Make sure you subscribe for the vibes, hit that like for Thanksgiving, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts on this turketta. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I'm posting new content. And you can follow me on Instagram at Harry the Horse Barbecue. Tag me so I can see what y'all are cooking because y'all inspire these feasts. And with that being said, there's only one more thing, y'all. I see you. This one is going straight to the horse's mouth. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. Have a safe turkey day and happy holidays.